Good morning. Welcome to the update from the bunker on Monday, 8th of June. Rain here, blue sky but rain. I don't know how that works, but still, anyway, only in France, eh? So, anyway, I hope you had a good weekend. The week starts again. We're seeing people come out of the bunker and things begin to happen again in a good way, which is great, which is good to see. Also, seeing obviously the news of all the protests or sometimes riots on the streets and around the Black Lives Matter movement. And it reminded me of a visit we had to South Africa some years ago. Must be about, 7 or 8 years ago now. And we're at the airport and we flew in Johannesburg, got to the car rental desk, and there's a black lady behind the desk, and she's issuing out all the paperwork and the keys. And it was the first time I've ever been to South Africa. So I said to her, any tips for tourists, anywhere what we should look out for, or stupid things that tourists do and this sort of thing, anything we should steer clear of. And she looked at me and it wasn't a smile, it was more sort of a smirk, and she just said, "Don't be white." And I thought, well, okay, thanks for that. That doesn't help very much. But anyway, and I thought about that. What's that mean? And anyway, we were driving around, and nothing happened. It was all okay. But it struck me that why would she say that? And I didn't want to have a conversation with her about what it meant. Clearly, I am white. I'm male, middle-aged, all this sort of thing. I can't sort of fix that. But it was the being white. Don't be white. What does that mean? What does it mean to people? And seeing now over the weekend and times before as well, has made me think about just those few words, those three words that she said to me. What is it that it means for me, or us, or white people, if you like, to be white? And then I saw the Bristol. We used to live in Bristol, in Portishead, donkeys years ago, a long time ago now. And I saw the statue of John Colston being torn down. And he was a slave trader, but also a benevolent benefactor of Bristol. He invested lots of money in Bristol, this type of thing. And then I saw again. We used to live up in Shropshire, and we used to go to Ashbourne in Derbyshire for weekends out and this type of thing. And it's a fabulous old village or small town, and across this high street is a big gantry, a wooden gantry. Arguably could be gallows actually, and for the Green Man pub. And there's a caricature head on top of this gantry of a black man, a black head on this gantry. And there's a petition now to have that head removed because it's on a gallows, for goodness sake. And it's made me realise, I think, at least for me, and this is something that might be slightly contentious, but I probably walked past that John Colston statue dozens of times, walking the dogs out in the park and this sort of thing. It's just a bronze statue stood there, the little plaque on it, some bloke from the 1700s. I've also been to Ashbourne a number of times and driven under that gantry and seen I've probably been to the Green Man pub as well. And I think the thing that, in terms of don't be white, I think what it is I have just walked past these things and not noticed. I haven't recognised that there's something wrong or damaging or offensive to other people. And that, I think, is maybe what the lady was referring to when she said to me, "Don't be white," when I'm driving my car around. And I saw the statue come down on the video in Bristol, and my initial reaction was, well, that's insane, that's crazy, that's part of British heritage and British history and all this sort of thing. But actually, it's not okay, is it? It's not okay not to have a statue. We can't change and amend the history. Our history is what got us here and enables us in some way to sort of have these elegant discussions. But it's not okay to have a statue there of the person that was involved in the slave trade and promoted it and made a lot of money out of it as well. So should that statue come down? Yeah, I think it should. I think the head in Ashbourne should come down as well. Because I don't see it. It doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't mean it doesn't affect and has that level of significance for other people as well. It's not okay just to walk past and ignore it. And I think it's this passive approach of walking past and not seeing, not recognizing, not just symbols, but maybe lifestyles or whatever it is, that is what it means to be white. We're not doing anything. And there's a famous quote by Edmund Burke, and it's just the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men and I'll put a rider on that, and women and good people to do nothing. And maybe it's not good enough to do nothing, to be totally passive, to walk past the statues and not let it have an effect, because it's affecting other people. I can't walk in those people's shoes. I can't. But not being white, maybe it just means being a bit more aware, a bit more open to the idea that things we take for granted, our culture and heritage and lifestyles, even though we don't mean it to be offensive or upsetting or whatever it is to other people, that it actually is. So maybe not being white is to stop being quite so passive and taking an active part in making a positive difference. So it did make me think, and it's something, again, I can't fix being a white guy. I can't fix that. But maybe I can fix the approach and my response to things. And I recall when I was doing my MBA in London, I used to cycle from Mitcham up to Greenwich University, Greenwich College, and 2 nights a week. And I used to cycle up through, I think it was Deptford and New Cross, not particularly amazing places, but I was on a push bike. So I'd cycle through, go to college, I'd leave about 10 o'clock and cycle back to Mitcham, put the bike in the car and drive home to Horsham. And one particular evening, and it was a cold, I think September, October evening, I'm riding this little tiny sort of side street. It's dark, and anyway, a car door opened up on me and knocked me flying down the road. Literally took me out, hit the pedal, I went flying down the road, landed bruised and battered. And as I'm coming round, there's 3 black guys running towards me, and they're big lads. And I remember my initial response was, this is it. This is it. I'm done. White bloke in whatever it was. I'm done. And as they came towards me, I started to not panic, but it was just like, what do I do here? Now, my initial response was, and this is a sort of triggered response, was danger. And what happened was the guy who had opened the car door on me was a taxi driver who was dropping off a fare. He hadn't looked in his mirror, opened his door, knocked me flying. These guys are working in a late night garage. They're fixing up cars and this sort of thing, and all in boiler suits. Ran down towards me and picked me up, dusted me down, made sure I was okay, and repaired my bike. They had to bend back some of the pedals and that sort of thing. Bent my bike back, gave me a cup of tea, made sure I was okay, and sent me on my way. And I thought then, and now that initial response, that's being white as well, isn't it? And it's this initial response we have to maybe watch out for. So for me, I think the riots or the protests over the weekend, valid as the cause may be, I mean, I think the timing absolutely sucks, but we can't have violence on the streets and breaking up of shops and rioting, no. But we do have to think about what it means. And that lady in the airport in Johannesburg made me think and made me continue to think. So yeah, don't be white. Interesting conversation. So there's my update for the bunker. It's continued work in progress for me, and probably has to be work in progress for a lot of us as well. But just don't walk by. Don't be passive. That is, I think, is one of the key things we can probably do. So have a great day. That's my thought for the day. Pretty deep for a Monday. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.